much as 6.7 million barrels.
Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to pick up where we left off.
Onshore storage have been filling up the offshore storage.
I have to charge my other headphones because they both need charge. This one charges a little bit faster.
It is my duty to be
This one takes forever, ever.
and responsible in the national interest, to protect the public finances and help families with the cost of living.
Well, next, this has been better.
Put that one to charge. Let's put this one to charge since we have a little bit of battery. Wait, by the time this one charges, maybe the other one will have a little bit, so the sound will get better. So please bear with me. I know we're a small military family from the church. You know, rule number one is you can only work with everything God has given us. So the markets are pretty good. My prediction is the war ends 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think there's going to be more damage, just more negotiations. We're going to be working on all new designs. And we're going to finish the article for Future Tech Plus, which I actually did start. Let me see.
Let's talk about what we've heard from the oil markets. And just before the break, we got this red headline across the Bloomberg terminal that told us that Gulf countries have been cutting back their oil output, of course.
Oh, aye. Yo, you know we diabetical up in here. No, we always got chocolate too. I gotta get some when I go to Walmart.
Director joins us now.
It's just, I could tell I need my day off. Tomorrow I'm gonna be off.
And give us a bit of context.
I gotta get candles too.
That's important, bro.
I have to get candles. We ran out of candles. I've been using the sprays. I put them by the sweeper thing, the sprays for the cave.
Yeah.
Because we don't have candles. I don't know where they put the incense. Hector be stashing them, so. But those are different from the ones we have from the shop.
Yeah.
Those are completely
But
different.
they're good. They're good. Get energy in there.
Yeah, but we don't have none, so I gotta use the spray because that's all we got. And Miss Allison used the whole air spray for the bathroom.
These countries don't have anywhere to put their oil production. Their storage tanks are full. There are no tankers to load. Means that these shut-ins will continue, and the knock-on effects of this outage will build. And the longer they go on, the longer they will take to unwind, if and when things do finally get back to normal.
So I guess the point is, even if President Trump decides that they've done enough, they can declare victory, there's still a risk to the Strait of Hormuz. That doesn't necessarily stop that. Are we getting closer to a point where the US Navy or others may be able to provide that escort through the Strait of Hormuz? And to what extent would that open things up and provide the relief that's needed for you?
I just don't think that that's clear at the moment, Tom. There's been a lot of talk about it from President Trump, both on the insurance side, on the military escort side. We had the French President Macron proposing a escort system.
Thank you. Yes, for real.
Yo, we got your back. No worries, bro. Same family, same team, man.
You good? Feel confident to try and
You know, it's funny that self-care and that day off is important, bro. Because I notice I'm always on go, and even when I'm working, I'm still doing so much for my mom too. I help her.
I have a granddaughter.
I don't have any of my own time to myself really for anything.
Need to chase her.
You know what I mean?
Hello, India.
You don't want to navigate a narrow waterway when there's the risk of conflict.
Yeah, some of them now look like they're on land.
Yeah.
Don't they? The signals they're sending.
Exactly.
And apart from the Navy escorts, the other thing that Trump says he's considering is waiving oil-related sanctions. I know he had a call with President Putin as well. How much difference would that make if he's talking about Russia sanctions?
It has made a difference already, actually, because one of the things that's happened in the last week is that the US Treasury granted a waiver that allowed India to buy Russian oil again without being sanctioned. That had actually been a big problem for Russia because India had been a big customer. Refiners were avoiding them to some extent, and that had really made Russian oil unwanted and cheap. There's lots of it on tankers now. India's able to buy it, so actually it's been quite an important pressure valve to the market as it works through this crisis. If the sanctions were to be waived for longer and more expensively, it wouldn't bring an awful lot more oil into the market, but it would make it easier for people to buy Russian oil and reduce some of the frictions in the market. So yes, it could make a difference, but it'd probably be a little bit marginal. Good for Russia, though.
Exactly. It seems like it's good for Putin in the war in Ukraine, but not so good for the global oil price.
I think that's probably a fair summary.
Well, thank you very much for Kennedy joining us with the latest on the oil markets. Let's broaden the focus and bring in our Markets Live Executive Editor, Mark Cudmore, who joins us now. Mark, the markets seem to want to believe that it could join the dots between what we heard from President Trump and the end of conflict, more passage through the Straits of Hormuz. Not entirely clear how we do that, but risk appetite seems to have returned to some degree this morning. How would you assess the market outlook from here?
Yeah, risk appetite has returned exuberantly. I'm certainly struggling to join the dots, Anna, this morning. I think if you'd said, say, last Thursday, that, look, as of Tuesday, it would look like the Strait is still closed. It would look like we've not had any SPR release of oil. It would look like Trump had said the conflict's probably going to last another week, even if it's nearing the end. We'd be told that the son of the prior Iranian leader was now the new leader, i.e. no regime change. I don't think most people would expect stocks to be trading where they are now. I think they'd probably say, okay, it's fine, we're oil price side. They might expect them a little bit higher than they are now. There's about a 35% premium in oil prices based relative to the previous year's average. I think we'll expect them a little bit more, but that doesn't seem out of order. I think rates have probably overreacted in the short term to the oil price move, but that's in context where they've pushed before. So that's fine. FX moves been logical, dollar strength, EM weakness, but nothing too carried away. I think the bit that stands out is the stocks have been very resilient so far. And even though I am overall very bullish for 2026, I am surprised they're quite so resilient in the short term. And that's the asset that seems the weak link to me.
Mark, haven't stocks called this one right? This is a president now who has signalled he wants an off-ramp, and that is the clear takeaway from these markets.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a very valid way to look at it right now. The bit that I slightly question is that, to kind of running with your idea there, Tom, is that the idea that stocks traders who said it'll be a taco from Trump means, basically ignore this. But have we really had a taco from Trump? I mean, we haven't had any concrete steps. The war is ongoing. Missiles are still fired to the air. Drones are still being intercepted. We've not had the SPR release. We've still got more to do. So we've not had an action of taco yet. Yes, we've had the move on the waivers with Russia. We've had a few little minor exemptions, but overall, we're still ongoing. So that's why I'm a little bit suspicious in the disconnect with stocks.
Mark, we just had a guest on from the world of private credit from Partners Group, very confident about the outlook. Do you agree with that? Are you concerned about stress in private credit in this higher rates environment?
Look, I'm not a private credit expert. I think one of the problems is that everyone outside the industry is really struggling to know what's happening inside. That's why there's concern out there. I'm not convinced that this is the big blow up in private credit. There's not a big debt bubble. What I do know is that the margin and inflationary impulse to what's happening in the Middle East and higher yields isn't great. It has exacerbated the problem when there's a lot of stress. And the problem with credit problems is they can become spiraling when there is that stress out there. So I remain a little bit concerned, but I'll have to trust the insiders, unfortunately.
Peter Piper persistently missed packages, so he scheduled his deliveries with Amazon Business and positively prospered. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
Exos long is strongly believe that our energy choices will define the future of the planet Earth. The top three critical elements while choosing a source of energy is affordability, reliability, and more importantly, scalability. It's very important that we are able to scale up the source of energy at an affordable price to be able to deliver reliable power for the needs of mankind.
Okay, for now, Bloomberg Markets Live Executive Editor Mark Cudmore. Mark, thank you. Remember, you can get up-to-date analysis and insight, of course, from Mark and the fantastic team. Just go to MLive Go on your terminal. Let's get your stocks to watch this Tuesday now. I'm bringing Jennifer Query. Jennifer, what are you looking at?
Good morning. We talked a lot about energy today. We're going to continue further this morning. Of course, BP, Shell, and its peers in focus. That's after US President Donald Trump said that the war in Iran would end, quote, very soon. He's also looking to waive oil-related sanctions, keep oil prices down. And he also said that the US Navy will escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, that critical artery that's responsible for about a fifth of the global oil inflows, which has effectively remained closed since the start of the war. So we could see oil shares move this morning. Of course, investors are skeptical over whether or not this would actually calm energy markets. We have a quote from Bandit Insights saying that this is hardly the reassurance that will get tankers sailing normally again through the strait. Next up, we're going to flip over to Volkswagen. Volkswagen reporting full year earnings today, and its full year outlook will be in focus. Of course, investors are looking for signs that the war in Iran could lead to supply chain bottlenecks, as well as rising costs of raw materials, energy, and logistics. Volkswagen is also expected to share insights into its cost-cutting program, which has been made all the more urgent by rising competition from Chinese players, as well as slower than expected growth in its electric vehicles. Finally, we're ending on Airbus. Airbus saying that it delivered just 35 jets in February. Analysts are saying that this falls short of expectations. Airbus, of course, last year struggled with some of those supply chain problems. It suffered from a shortage of engines, which forced it to build so-called gliders. In order to keep production lines moving, it also lowered its delivery target at the end of December following the discovery of faulty parts. So those shares have been climbing over the past year, dipping a bit in January. We could see those shares moving again this morning. Back to you.
Jennifer, thank you very much. Bloomberg's Jennifer Creary, of course. We were hearing there about VW. We'll focus in on some of the individual stock stories that might move the markets around at the open. The bigger picture, of course, will be around Iran and what President Trump has said there. But interestingly, we've got these lines coming through from VW around job cuts. That's going to be one area of focus, certainly in the political context of Germany and the results we saw for Friedrich Merz not going his way over the weekend. So certainly we'll talk more about VW in the second part of this programme.
Another company reporting earnings this morning is Persimmon, of course, the UK home builder, and it comes back to the conflict with Iran because they're monitoring that impact on their markets in this 2026 year. They say they're looking at customer sentiment, build cost inflation, and interest rates.
So that's why I'm going to really focus on the gilt markets as well, because we are seeing a bit of a relief rally in the bond markets after what a significant day yesterday in terms of the sell-off that we're seeing. Gains coming through now, double-digit moves in terms of yields down for sovereign debt of the Eurozone. We'll see how gilts have been right at the coalface in terms of the pain point around this. So we'll see how. And the adjustments around the pricing for the BOE. At one point yesterday, you had a rate hike being priced in. That has been faded now. Market's not expecting any move from the BOE, but we'll see how that moves. Oil prices are down, the dollar is down, gas prices are down. Let's see what happens in terms of the gilt rally that is likely to come through today, because that links into the real estate state.
Yeah, Brent at $90 a barrel now. You wonder whether Rachel Reeves will regret suggesting that she would support households if oil was above $100 a barrel. It doesn't seem that support will be needed anymore.
Well, let's see. We're focusing on the gilt market open and the broad risk appetite there that we see. US futures pointing a little bit more to the upside, as European futures certainly point to the upside. No surprise there, because we missed out on some of the rally late in the day over in the United States, connected with President Trump's commentary. So we'll certainly be looking for some upside to European stocks at the start of trade this morning. Futures suggest we'll be up by 1%, maybe 2% on some of these markets this morning. This is Bloomberg. A few minutes to go until the start of equity trading here in Europe, and risk appetite seems to be back for these markets, at least for now, at least for this morning, at least for the start of the European session. Maybe that's all we can say. But this is the session in the US of yesterday. We saw a strong rally at the end of the session. That was to do with, actually before President Trump himself spoke, but we got those headlines coming through from an interview he'd done with US media that suggested he was going to be talking about a short conflict. Then we heard from President Trump later after the US closed, and indeed he was talking about a short conflict. And so European markets are looking to catch up with some of that ground that we saw gained by US stocks during yesterday's session. It might be difficult to link the dots between what we heard from the president yesterday and the stated goals of this conflict, particularly around regime change, but the market's putting that to one side for the moment and buying the dip that was yesterday, and it looks as if the futures picture as a result then, Tom, points higher.
Yeah, maybe the way to characterise it is tentative Taco Tuesday. You are looking at a European equity market that is set to snap 4 straight days of losses. Yesterday, just one sector in positive territory. energy, expect that to change today. Oil prices down, gas prices down, yields down, and you're looking at a weaker dollar as well. European stock futures then pointing to gains of 2.3%. Here in the UK, FTSE 100 futures, there may be a bit of a drag from weaker oil and that sector, but so far you're looking to add 129 points. Recession in Germany is looking bright as well. Within the context, funny higher, by close to 2% so far. Lizzie, individual stocks that you're looking at.
Tommy, we keep an eye once again on the energy space. As you say, oil prices down more than 9% now on WTI and Brent. So the energy name's set to be on the back foot. In Germany, we watch Volkswagen after its earnings. And in London, we have Persimmon, very exposed to the cost inflation and interest rates impacted by the war in Iran. Anna.
So it looks as if these markets then will be on the front foot this morning, expecting to see gains of 1-2% perhaps on some of the major markets. Maybe the ones that fell the hardest bounced the furthest this morning. We'll certainly look for the DAX to do some of that heavy lifting in terms of the upside for equity markets this morning. Yesterday was all about higher oil prices. It was all about inflation expectations, bond yields going higher, with all of that in the mix. Today looks like the opposite of that. We're substantially lower on the oil price. Energy stocks could therefore be to the downside, but everything else perhaps we saw moving in the opposite direction yesterday, and that might be the same in today's session. So London is open and it is up by 1.2% this morning. The stock 600 is up by just over 1%. Perhaps there's quite a bit of volume going through on the DAX, for example, so we're waiting for that market to open up. Tom, what do you see on the sectors picture?
There has been that mirror image in terms of the energy sector. Right now, it's in negative territory. Not a big surprise, of course, in terms of what we're seeing around Brent and WTI and gas prices as well. So currently, energy is the biggest loser, down 2.2%, close to 2.2%. On the upside, the biggest gains coming through from the banking space as you start to see yields down and readjustments, those gains that you're coming to see in the bond markets, pairing the losses that we saw yesterday. So banks with that relief as well, up 3.3% as a sector. Travel and leisure also gaining 2.4%. Again, on the comments from President Trump seemingly pointing to potentially an end to this conflict in Iran. Basic resources also gaining 2.3%. The other sector that is near the red is telecoms. Modest gains of 0.4%, but again, every sector so far in positive territory, pretty convincingly so, apart from energy down 1.8%, Lizzie.
We're still waiting for a few of the names that we'd flagged earlier to open, but in the energy space, Shell down 2.4%, BP about the same, Total about the same as well. So as you say, it's a reversal of the moves that we have seen when oil was up, but the banks, the outperformer, and some of the names doing best are those that struggled the most previously. So UniCredit, Banco Santander, and SocGen all up more than 4% this morning.
We are seeing movement in gilt markets then. We were watching for this, and just like we've seen in the rest of Europe, and we are seeing those gilt yields coming down. So at the 2-year down by 9-10 basis points, out to the end of the curve down by 9 basis points or so. So across the curve, just like in the rest of Europe, we are seeing those yields coming down. Let's get another take on these markets. Paul Markham joins us, Investment Director and Head of Global Equities at GAM Investments. Paul, really nice to have you with us. Let's talk about risk appetite this morning, because it seems as if the market is trying to buy the dip of yesterday and doing that at the start of the trading session. It does seem difficult maybe to join all of the dots between what we've heard from the US administration last night and what their stated aims were going into this. But we are maybe reassured by this narrative that President Trump wants a shorter conflict. Is that going to be enough to sustain risk appetite, do you think? What are you watching for next?
I think the phrase Taco Tuesday sort of sums it up really. And the idea that this will be a sustained rally from here, for me, is quite difficult to believe. I think that there will be a relief bounce. After that, I think the questions come around in the same way as they were before we had the whole conflict, which is around where US monetary policy goes from here, whether or not rates can be cut this year, and that is now much more of a question. And I think that will really drive sector performance going on for the rest of this year. So I think for now, I would be relatively cautious. I think that markets can push on a little bit, but I think the war isn't over yet, so we'll wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of where the sector's in focus, I mean, are you still thinking about loading up on those sectors that would do well in a higher oil, higher inflation environment? Is that still the mentality, or is it a buy the dip because the war is going to end at some point soon?
Well, the difficulty with the stagflation environment, which was really what the conditions were for the last week or so, it's very hard to buy anything which really makes any positive, absolute progress in that environment. So, and it's really clear that, for example, the wrong kind of spike in bond yields came around for the banks to perform, for example, which is why they're outperforming on lower bond yields this morning, which is different to what you would usually expect. So I think, I would sort of pretty much stay pat where we are actually, which is we've been long technology, we've been short banks, and we've been fairly constructive on some of the industrial names which benefit from the AI trade, really. So that's really where we are, and we didn't really get too much sucked into getting too many changes because you can get whipsawed.
Let's say you have a weaker euro, but also the higher oil price. Are there some sectors whose earnings will turn out better for that combination?
Yeah, I mean, clearly the European oil leverage names specifically are going to do very well in that environment. A higher oil price is usually negative for the euro, so those two things should go hand in hand.
But the weaker euro is a tailwind for some.
Yes, I mean, the weaker euro should be a tailwind for the market in general in the Eurozone because, it's dominated by exporters. It's very hard usually for European equities out with the last year or so when the domestic stocks have done well.
We're going to open the dealership and we're going to start the auction.
Economically, it needs China or the US to be economically strong to perform, and they usually
ready?
It's tuned from those. So
let's go.
I would expect if we have a global positive market environment,
McLaren's is in.
Markets do fairly well, and I think they'll probably shrug off higher oil prices, apart from certain domestic consumption stuff.
Are you surprised that
2-minute auction on
stocks
each
haven't
car.
been doing better in all this? I asked
Hit me
another
up on
guest
the
this
neck,
recently,
go
and
to
she was
what
saying
not.
that it's partly because
Shout out
higher
to the
oil
V Friends,
prices will
VaynerMedia,
benefit
Gary
Russia,
Vaynerchuk.
that they haven't been doing so well. But surely, if that is to Russia's benefit, you would expect Russia to make
Let's
new
rock and roll,
targets
baby.
and there to be a need for more defence spending.
Well, one of the issues is capacity in defence, actually. And even if demand is very, very high, if you can't fulfil the orders, then there's a sort of limit to how far you can go with that. There was an IPO recently, a company called CSG.
2015 McLaren P1 GTR, 147 miles. Take that off the line. That's a personal car. 2.6 million my price.
As well as you may have expected it to.
2015 McLaren P1, 5,225 miles. The blue one, pull that off the line. That's a personal car. 2.5 million my price. 2021 McLaren Elva Sky Blue. This is Ryu right here. Personal car, 662 miles. Take that off the line. $2.5 million my price.
Would it be the Iranians saying they're ready to negotiate? What specifically?
2014 McLaren P1, 4,418 miles, 2.4 million my price. Pull that off the line. 2020 McLaren Senna GTR, 623 miles. I'm taking that car to DR.
Sadly,
2.25 million, 2.225 million. My price. I can do 6 million door to door, Bitcoin only.
This conflict. So I think, if that is achieved,
2021 McLaren Elva, 181 miles. That one's going to New York, $2 million my price.
In the US, for example. So I think we go back to those themes, and I think that the more
you can have all 6 of them, they come in a set.
How are you hedging?
2-minute auction.
Do you want to buy cash?
Highest bidder, no reserve.
What's your hedge?
Gold.
2019 McLaren Senna, $2 million my price, 3,620 miles neon.
Also, of course, the cost of carry.
Pull that one off the line.
Spiking has been quite expensive.
2019 McLaren Senna, 2,948 miles, black on black on black, 2 million. Pull that off the line. That's my price. Personal car.
Price targets the market around 6,000 an ounce.
Black and gold, carbon and gold, exposed carbon. 2019 McLaren Senna, 2,791 miles. I'm gonna put like another 500 on it. $1.9 million my price. We could do 4 million overseas.
That
one's for sale.
Looking back for all kinds of parallels.
2019 McLaren Senna, 96 miles. Pull that off the line. That's for the music video. That's a personal car. $1.9 million my
We
price.
saw some stocks did fine.
So I could do 7.2 million on that.
That became evident, and the market was
And
those companies with
if you
prices
buy
out.
that one,
even though there was an
I'll
inflationary
give you
environment
first
which
dibs.
made
I got a
everybody,
2019 McLaren
was
Senna
enjoying, certainly.
with
Some stocks managed to make most of that.
1,685 miles, but they've been together since they were brand new. I don't want to separate these cars, so you're getting a good deal. Either way, you could come out with a personal car and sell one and then invest the money on the other one. So those 3 go together. 2021 McLaren Elva. White, black and red racing stripes, 2 additional stripes on each side, 645 miles, $1.5 million my price.
world impacts in terms of
Take that off the
inflation.
line. We're not
And that's
selling
something
that
which
one.
the UK
That one's going to
has
go
already
with
been
the green
suffering,
one and
but
the
it's
blue
gonna be
one.
split more
They're going to
widely,
go
I think. So in
together.
that case, you probably do
2021
want to buy
McLaren
which are able to
765
benefit from that, and I would
LT,
imagine that some of the commodities
6,000
would be in the sweet spot for that.
Is it a good time
400
to
miles,
double down on renewables?
personal
You've got energy
family
security
member's car,
focus, AIs, energy needs as
900,000
well.
my price.
It's a good point. I mean, I
Overseas,
think
give me
the problem
2.25
there
million.
is political. There are two
We
reasons
only
for that.
accept
One is that
Bitcoin.
you
Hit
have
me up on the neck.
governments backing away from some of
504-202
that
5915 cyraxplex at gmail.com.
And secondly,
Hit me up on
in an
whatnot.
inflationary
Link up with me on LinkedIn. I'm sort of a big deal over there.
Because the cost of living will spike.
Shout out to all the B friends.
In developed economies, and it's going to be a tricky period to get re-elected.
Ferrari Pura Sangre, I got a trade in 2025.
Difficult to discern. That's something which
$1 million my price.
I want to go back to the
Fully
FX
loaded.
story.
I got a
We're
black
seeing
one. I got a
that
blue
weakness in the
blue
dollar
one too.
index today. That has changed, of course. We've seen very strong
Lamborghini
activity.
Essenza
The clearest hedge, essentially,
SCV12
for
black
these
on
markets.
black. Take
But
that off
can I
the
just
line.
assume, given-
It's not time for that car yet.
outline for us, that the dollar
That's gonna
goes
be
back
in
to
the
being
video too.
challenged after this conflict, that this is going to be short-lived in terms of the gains.
Okay,
for the
I got a
greenback
trade
that
in.
we've seen in the last week or so.
2026 McLaren 750S, but it's the Spider. Silver wheels, 39 miles.
The suspicion was when he was first
One
hired,
owner
if
car.
he's confirmed as
Let's do
Fed chair.
500,000
I
my
think the fact
price.
that Trump has shown himself willing
And
to circumvent
I have a white one
institutions in the
with
US, I think does
33
lead to
miles,
some
so 6
question
less
marks over
miles.
the dollar. And of course, if there is,
And
I
I could
some lasting inflationary impacts, that might be
I could do like
positive for yield.
900,000 on that
Trump
one
is
overseas.
insistent on pushing the Fed very hard to cut rates. That's going to be quite a bonfire to be throwing petrol onto. So I think from that perspective, I would imagine there will be a challenging time for the dollar once this is over.
We've got inflation out of the States tomorrow, haven't we? At the beginning of this week, it looked as if that might fail to come through because of everything that's happening.
McLaren 750 Spider, personal car, black with the aqua interior.
Where rates go, and do you think that can be something that
This
guides
is one of my
market
daughter's
sentiment
older
this week?
cars, so
I think this week,
this one has 31 miles on it. But you know, she can only drive it like inside the dealership. You know what I'm saying? Like off the truck and stuff like that. So it has 31 miles. It's still under my baby's name. I could do 1.2 million on that one overseas.
Depends, to be honest, Anna, with the
Everything
headlines
is,
around
you know, I'm still going to
inflation
give you the
numbers, what
warranty like
happens
a 0
in the
miles.
meantime around what's happening with the conflict. But I think if it's, as I say, if it's the wrong number,
2019 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car, 175,000. I just took that in on a trade. I don't have the title to it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be.
So we can't finance that car. That car has to be all cash deal. Full paperwork, everything that it needs, extra parts, spare parts. We have an extra seat for it. I got a 2025 Goldici Cilindri, sky blue, black interior. I have a matching 750S Spider, 27 miles, 430,000 my price. These I don't need much on these right here.
There's a reason Morgan and
As long
Morgan
as
is
I make
America's
like
largest injury law firm.
50,000-60,000 on them.
Morgan and Morgan for the people.
I got an orange one, 25 miles. Another white one, 46 miles. I got a black one, Spider. Okay, the white one is a hard top, and it's two-tone like the NSX.
It helps make room in my head for everything else.
The orange Spider has 36 miles. So that one you could give me 485,000. I'll make 81,000 on that car. The rest is pure profit. If you could flip it for double, that's on you.
Paying for that to arrive.
2025 trading 750S Spider, 41 miles, 400,000 my price. I'm only making like $3,000 in that car. I'd rather sell you a Rolex.
Paul, great to see you. Paul Markham,
Then sell the
Investment
car,
Director
but you
and
know,
Head
I
of
would do
Global
it for my
Equities
customers. I know if they need the new one, they'll come back and buy it from me.
Let's
You know
check
what I
in
mean?
on the core six,
So I'll
shall
take a
we?
loss on
How
this car,
these
but I'll
six
make it back on the
stocks
finance.
are performing this morning. We've been discussing defence. Heimertal
I'm still only
is
making like
weaker,
$2,200
this
off
morning.
that car.
So is Novo Nordisk, down 0.6%.
That's
The LVMH
nothing.
up 1.6%.
Basically, the shipping was $1,000, so I'm really making $1,200.
Across European equities, as is
I got an
Airsmart,
aqua blue
Schneider,
that was supercar blind and
Nestle.
shit.
But let's get some of
That's
the
not for
individual
sale.
stocks
Pull that
that are
off the
moving.
line.
Jennifer
FA3
Curry,
Mutual,
Jennifer.
that's a trade in.
Yeah, of course, it's no surprise
Hold
that
on to it
oil is
because I have
reacting today after
comments from
cousin
US
of mine that
President Donald
likes some
Trump,
shits. If he
saying that
doesn't
the
want it,
war in
we'll put
Iran
it
would
back on
end,
the
quote,
auction.
very soon. We've got Shell down 2.3%, BP down 2.5%, Total Energy
I got an
down
Artura Spider 60 miles,
Also
but still,
worth
I
mentioning
need
a bit of
400,000 for
M&A
that
action
one.
happening with
It's
Shell.
orange.
Shell agreeing to sell
I
Jiffy
got
Lube and its
purple, I got
subsidiary,
yellow.
Premium Velocity Auto to
But that
Monroe
orange
Capital
one, you're gonna
Partners
pay
for
top dollar for
$1.3
that.
billion. So those shares
And
reacting off
gold
of the
too,
back of
not
those various
yellow, but
bits
if
of
it's like a
news.
gold pearl,
Next up, we're going to flip over
the
to
pearls
defense
came
as
back,
well.
so
Also, one of
everybody
the
wants to
losers
throw
from
paint on.
today's session. Rheinmetall down 0.3%. BAE Systems down 1.4% as well, off of the back of easing geopolitical tensions with the war in Iran. Next up, we've got Volkswagen as well. That's up
White Spider
2.6% this morning.
24.
That's after fairly bearish comments from management. Volkswagen saying that it expects returns to remain under pressure this
I'm gonna
year
put like another 100 miles
on the back of higher raw material costs, intense competition, and
less than
geopolitical
6,000 or
tensions.
7,000 miles.
Investors shaking off
And
some
this
of
is
those concerns,
2024, so
boosting that
that
stock
car was
higher.
driven for like
Next
2
up, we've got
months.
Hugo Boss. That's
For
up
like 1 month every
5.5%
year.
as well.
That's
Hugo Boss, the
discipline
German
right
fashion
there.
retailer. Its sales and
I
profit
have
for
a
the full year
Germany
beat
gray
expectations.
with a
Also,
Quasar
its sales
pearl on it.
outlook was ahead of the
37
midpoint.
miles, 26
Analysts
McLaren
noted the
Artura
broad-based nature
Spider.
of that sales beat, and it says it
Very
indicates
good
a very
deal.
successful
Oh, as a matter of
festive
fact,
season. So
let
those
me
shares
put on the
up
auction
off of the
because
back
I
of those
wanted to
results.
kind of talk to you guys about it. We did not do it for yesterday's masterclass, but I got you. Hold on. Now that I remember, let's go Meckham Backham auction. Let's go. You know, people here, they country, they be like Meekum. All right, Meekum Kissimmee 2026. Shout out to Oscar, yo. You did it. You took it to another level. Now we don't know what to do all over again. Now, we are missing some cards, but don't worry, because I got the ones that we're missing, I got most of them. Don't worry about those. Now, you guys tell me what you think. Let's see who's paying attention in class, because this is going to be on your final, so I don't want to hear no excuse. Everybody has the hyperlink. And if you don't have it, email, text one of your friends in class and get the hyperlink. Because I'm not going to stop the class for everybody for one person. All right, no babysitting. Let's go. Training wheels is off. Let's go. I got a Cullinan training. I took like 3 of them. It depends on the color my client is looking for one. Let's see what I can find.
What the prancing horse represents. Their love of all things Ferrari grew into
Now,
a
it's
passionate
controversial
obsession, which
because
over the course of
F50
many
is not an
years
F40 replacement.
resulted in the
That shit is
group
an
of automobiles we're
alternate
about to see. Quite simply, one of the
modification
finest
from the
private
Ethos
collections in the world,
concept car.
46 Ferraris,
That's why it's
2
called
Alfa
Stellar.
Romeos that have deep Ferrari roots in all of them.
Yo,
No
the
reserve.
8C
Coming up in the
Competizione
next
Spiders,
hour, we'll bring you
both of them,
stunning
the Quadrifoglio
vehicles from the Phil
and
and Martha
the
Bachmann Ferrari
the Spider. The
collection.
Spider is yellow, yo.
Well,
Come
here we
on,
go.
man.
Everyone, with the first of 2 Alfa
The
Romeos,
ocean's
both
right
with
here.
Ferrari roots.
Yeah, a lot of speciality here. This is powered by a 4.7 liter
I still
V8
love that car,
that
dude.
is Ferrari built.
Now those cars are like for
horsepower.
my father, you know what I'm
Also,
saying?
this
So he can
engine
relive his
can be found
childhood,
in
you know?
Maseratis as well. Only 95 miles on the odometer.
95
so
miles, that's
Phil
for my
and
daughter
Martha
right there.
Bachmann didn't spend a whole lot of time on the road with this car. And
Younger
it's just
daughter, dude.
fabulously presented.
All at no reserve.
2009.
First Alpha at $300,000. One of 500 Spiders built over the course of the production span. They all sold out immediately.
That one went for
Carbon fiber body,
$350,000.
a
That was a
lot of
home run.
lightweight components in these cars.
Especially
and
with the
interior
mileage on it.
is really one of the high points of these Alfa Romeos. So luxurious and plush.
But McLaren's is in.
Yeah, this car was designed
Let's
by
go. I
Wolfgang
got
Egger,
a
who
purple
wanted to do some work for Audi and
66
Lamborghini
miles,
as well.
2026
He's a
McLaren
real star
Artura
with
Spider
this
hybrid
Well, the
V6 twin
first of
turbo.
2 Alphas
This is your
sells
competitor
for
the
$385,000.
for the
And
296
now it's the
GTB,
Competizione version.
which I
Did
got
say
a few of
that
those, but I don't have too many deals on them. I have
Okay,
highly
very good.
spec ones.
We're going to get a good Italian lesson here as well. This is also a 2008 Alfa Romeo 8C.
And once again, it's
That's the
got that
Competizione.
fabulous
That's like the
styling that,
Quadrifoglio.
just
That's the
sets
one I'm
this car
talking about.
apart. You see
Lot
the
S121.
quadrifolio four-leaf clover good luck symbol used on the Alfa Romeo race cars of the past. And a lot of these cars are going to have special Phil and Martha
150,000, I'm bidding. 200,000, I'm bidding.
and little things that they've integrated in these
250,000, I'm
automobiles
bidding.
that really make them one of a
300,000,
kind.
I'm bidding.
And again, if you're just joining us,
300,000.
you'll hear his voice.
300,000, I'm going higher. Let's go.
Former
I got more.
employee at Maranello, worked on the Ferrari Classica department as well, and we'll go into a little bit more detail on that. and
Going
how
higher,
important
going higher,
that is
going higher.
once we
Let's
get
go.
into the Ferraris
Let's go.
in earnest.
I got my price, 335,000. Out of here.
Well, there that one is at
Home run.
$335,000.
That's for my dad right there.
Okay, the 1994 512 TR.
Personal car.
Yeah, we'll get the
That's
running
my
gear out of
baby,
the real quick. 4.9 liters,
But I drive to the
512,
beach right here. I
121
used to, not
horsepower.
anymore.
But these
Slow
TRs,
for
the
that
512 TRs, these were one step up from
Right.
the
When I was younger,
Testarossa.
when you're young, you feel like you have
Preceded it.
something to
Just
prove.
more aero, more power,
That's
and
just
a car that
probably to have a
was not
conversation
that
with my
very
dad. I
high on
drive
the
that car.
collector's radar
And
screen
when
for
you
a
need
while.
advice
But boy,
from the
this
dad, or you
market
need to give your dad
absolutely
advice,
went
you drive a
through
car
the
like
moon
this.
about 10,
The
15
car
years ago.
breaks the ice for
We're
the
seeing it today.
conversation.
A $400,000 bid. You saw the
Everywhere
rear
you go,
deck,
people
the
look at you, they
512
smile at
TR
the
did
car,
not
and it
have the
reminds you life is going to
Testarossa
be all right.
badge.
You're going to make
The original
Sometimes
Testarossa
you
was the
need
only one
the whole rear end
that
of the
had that
Testarossa is a wing. It's a
on
hidden
the
wing.
rear deck lid. Let's see it. And the
500,000.
512 TR sells for $500,000.
Yeah, but how many miles?
And next on the auction block, the Ferrari
I got a
288
few of
GTO from 1985.
This car could run 394
definitely got
horsepower.
a few of
Got
those.
a
That one is
2.9 liter
nice,
turbo
though.
V8 Ferrari's
But
first
I got a few special
turbocharged
ones. So
supercar
can't be
that
greedy,
never
right?
raced because the
2.9
Group B
liter.
was
Twin
discontinued
turbo
before they
V8.
could ever take this car to the
Almost 400
racetrack, right?
horsepower.
And Marco, you indicated this car is an important one.
One thing
for
I'll
you
tell you,
and for
based on the
Ferrari.
design, the car
for me,
feels really good
because
to
I
drive.
started the production
No
of the assembly
airbags.
line of this car, so it's emotional and sentimental reason.
Let's make some noise. No!
The 288 GTO
7.75
1985 just sold for $7.75 million. How about that?
The car is finally getting its full value and attention, Marco,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
Fully being appreciated by the market.
Absolutely.
As we continue with the Phil and Martha Bachman collection with a 1978
These are all
308
home runs right here. These are
GTS.
good deals right here.
And some rarity here.
Let's keep
One
going.
of three produced in the Jano Fly color on the outside and the Tested de Moro 890 interior. One of only three. 2.9 liter V8. And these cars were produced in 1907 and 1980. And Marco, the 308, that was kind of like a large number of cars that were built during that
Yes,
era.
it's missing the
There's a
suburbs.
little of variation on the production that started with the 308, and then they did the 4-valve, the injection, and then the evolution was the 328.
Yeah.
That was almost for 10, 12 years.
Almost a mass-produced car
Yeah,
from
for
Ferrari.
sure. In numbers at that period was the most produced car. Yeah.
This 308 GTS just sold for $220,000.
That's way above our usual market for those cars. Wow.
Next on the auction
This one
block,
for my father, yo.
1975
And that's the thing that these are the cars that during his generation, these are the cars they were dreaming of. Like this would have been the Enzo, the F50 of its time. But when I look at the design, I'm like, only my father could appreciate that type of
Only
silhouette.
387 of these were built between 73
This is the
and
Inspector
76.
Gadget car. People get confused from far away as a kid. They think it's a 512 Testarossa. No, it's a 512 BB Le Mans. This one is triple tail lights, triple exhaust.
GT4.
Oh my God, that's so tight, yo. F40.
First
I got too many of these.
modern supercar.
I have one of these
is
for
what
every
we are
family
looking
member,
at right now. A 1992 F40.
Just because I feel like you need to own this car, you have to drive this car.
Generate 471
And on the
horsepower.
racetrack, that's
That
it.
twin
Early in the
turbo
morning.
V8
Early
engine.
in
This
the
is the
morning.
first time Ferrari
Once it
employed
starts
the
getting
twin
hot,
turbo
that's it. Right back in the
This
garage.
one, only 458
Them
miles
shits is
on the
fast, so
odometer.
I always have fun with them shits.
Race car
That's the thing. It's hard not to have fun in that car.
But these cars
That car is about, yo, if you want to go to the 1980s, that's what you do.
And look at the youngster with an
Oh,
Enzo
look, he had his son
sweatshirt.
bidding, both of
I
his
love
sons.
that.
That's what's up. You see, that's inspiration, motivation right there. You go to the auction, you be bidding with your kids, like, yo, which one you like?
Here's a
Take down one, go bid on it, bid
1976
on it.
308 GTB.
Yeah, this was a 2.9 liter V8. This one making 240 horsepower. And the odometer reads almost 10,000 miles. Again, this one with the fiberglass bodywork before they switched over to sheet metal.
The alloys were the talk of the town,
$250,000.
which that put me on game too, because I wasn't even thinking about that.
The 1989
Now, the only thing is I need a new controller
390
for it,
horsepower
because this
out
takes
of
forever to
4.9
do.
flat 12. Odometer reads 257 miles.
Marco, the first car I worked on when I started at Great
89
was a Testarossa
Testarossa, that's
with
what my
camshaft
dad.
failure. And we called the factory, called
Yeah,
Maranello
that's
and
what my
asked
dad.
how we should go about
I'll
the
take
work.
the other
And
TR for
Maranello's
myself.
answer was, we've never seen it before. Make sure your mechanic documents everything when he takes it out and let us know what he did. It's the standard answer.
Yo, Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Just like that, just enjoying it like that. Nothing else. Nothing else. Damn, 625,000. That's a good deal. So I'm gonna be paying. I'm gonna pay a premium, but it's cool. Oscar, you got it. You tell me how much you want for that one. I want that one for my dad, so we'll make it happen.
Daytona.
The Daytona, that's from my grandfather's
This may be
collection,
the one that they are
1970.
most familiar with,
Yeah.
the famous
My grandfather would like that.
This one.
It looks like the Dolce engine. That's why I want to get that for my dad.
GT car.
But this will be like my grandfather's specs right here. I'll give this to my
See
uncle
another
right
one
here.
until the Maranello came
My
along.
uncle would take excellent care of this right here.
Well, this one sells for $600,000. Marco Arrighi, thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate your insight on these cars. It's been wonderful to have you here, sir. Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you to you.
The
And we'll take a
FXX,
break and we
mine,
return with an Enzo and an
number 22.
FXX next.
That's one of my MR2s right there. That's Pegasus right there. That is Pegasus, dude. I'm gonna drive that shit on the streets in VR.
Ricky, Tony, have any singles or no? Let me go to Amsterdam.
Yo, hey, Aaron, ask them for a postage stamp. It's 80 cents. I'm bringing it to you. Yeah. See if my shorty's working.
50 Barchetta Pininfarina, and we are above $1 million on this car.
Special car, Scott. This was to celebrate the 70th
Barchetta, little boat from my
anniversary
dad, too.
Ferrari
My dad's
550
collection is full
Maranello
of these
coupe.
shit.
Became an open-top car.
we
The
have a
Barchetta,
collection,
only
too. I got my
448
own.
of these were built,
Me
making
and
them
my
even
dad,
more
that's what we
exclusive.
collect.
A lot of power, 485 horsepower, 5.5 liter V12.
So, $1,150,000.
No rest for the weary. Here comes the FXX.
For the weary, you are correct, Amundo. On the block now, a 2006 Ferrari FXX.
860 horsepower, 6.3 liter V12, and Steve Matchett. There was a special mission for
860, that's
these
my
cars
shit.
at Ferrari.
I'm gonna drive that shit in the streets in VR, yo.
2003.
I already called my lawyer, so yo,
produced
gonna
the
get a
Enzo.
purchase for the plate, so
3 years later, Maranello said,
Coco's gonna help
my
me with
glass
the
of wine,
plates.
let's see what we can do now.
Okay, la placa para ese carro.
Track only car.
Yo lo voy a sacar con la vaina de 35 días y después allá le ponemos la otra
Owners
placa.
became part of the R&D team.
Le voy a
They
poner
were used in
turbilla en
order
el
to
tablero.
provide feedback on the finished automobile.
Yeah, Phil did not sit idly by. In fact, he was one of the
Oh my God,
drivers,
it's about
owners who
me,
had
that's
the
fine.
most seat time in an
Yeah,
FXX.
Yeah, I believe this has the record for the highest kilometer seat. So it also makes you realize not only did Phil love Ferraris, he
Now,
loved
the shit
driving
with
them
the
and
fucking
racing
doors,
them
the
and
doors is
working
heavy.
Yes.
So if they slam, it'll break the
Another
fucking
idea that the
window.
drivers were giving feedback to
So I
Maranello.
gotta put something to slow that shit down. The race car don't have the right amount of pressure.
The upgrade that came on board for
I'm
this
taking
car,
those
time and
pins
time
off,
again,
all
you
that
had
corny
to
shit.
have
I'm
all that
putting
work
regular
done by
locks on this.
Maranello and nobody else but
The
Maranello to
fucking
do that.
AC, the sound
Yeah, more
system.
pull for the Bachmans at the factory. The only one that left as in Jalo Yellow.
I'll probably paint it too. $5.75. That's good. You got it. You got it.
FX.
I'll let you make money on it. You can make money on it. You know it's different. We're buying cars different now, so.
Bet you I can. We better pick it up because T-Mobile now has the fastest 5G home
Now,
internet.
what they're gonna do is they're gonna bombard me with the commercials, knowing that we are doing a fucking engineering class. But the difference is, I'm gonna fast forward that shit. After we fucking do all that shit, come on now, come on. Nope. That one's sold. Keep going. Sold. That one's done. That one's sold. We broke all the records right here in Kissimmee. There we go.
Welcome back as the Phil and Martha Bachman Ferrari collection continues with the 2001 550 Barchetta Pininfarina, and we are above $1 million on this car.
Special car, Scott. This was to celebrate the 70th anniversary Ferrari, the 550 Maranello Coupe.
Just putting
Became
gas
an
in that
open
shit is
top
crazy.
car. The Barchetta, only 448 of these were built, making them even more exclusive. A lot of power, 485 horsepower, 5.5 liter V12.
Now it's underpowered. You know what I'm saying? Compared to today's metrics.
No rest for the weary.
Let me see what I got in for trading.
For the weary, you are correct, Amundo.
All right, look.
On the block now.
Just so I can spec out that, I need to spec out a C8 base Spider.
860 horsepower, 6.3 liter V12, and Steve Matchett. There was a special mission for these cars at Ferrari.
Plus, you know, we're going turbo, so
2003,
we should be
Maranello
able to
produced
get
the Enzo.
2,000 to
3 years
2,200.
later, Maranello said, hold my glass of wine, let's see what we can do now. And they produced the FXX. Track-only car. Yeah, another stunning piece of automotive engineering from the team.
Right, and owners became part of the R&D team. Right. They were used in order to provide feedback on the finished automobile.
Yeah, Phil did not sit idly by. In fact, he was one of the drivers, owners who had the most seat time in an FXX.
Yeah, I believe this has the record for the highest kilometer seat. So it also makes you realize not only did Phil love cars, he loved driving them and racing them and working on them.
Yes, and that idea that the drivers were giving feedback to Maranello was no marketing ploy. It was just, we want to know what makes this car work for you guys. The upgrade that came on board for this car, time and time again, you had to have all that work done by Maranello and nobody else but Maranello to do that.
Yeah, and more pull for the Bachmans at the factory. The only one that left as in Jalo Yellow.
5.75 million.
The FXX.
What's his deal? He said to Metro with no activation fees.
So look what we do with the commercial. Boom. What you gonna do now? YouTube, you know I'm teaching an engineering class. You're interrupting me. So you're giving us an intermission. Bombarding us with 45 seconds of commercials when it's supposed to be 5 seconds. And you know we're doing this for education. Come on now. That should be a shame. Another commercial. I fast forward, they gave me another fucking commercial, 5 seconds. Now you're giving me the real shits, right? Fuck.
Next on the block, everyone, 2004 Ferrari 360 Challenge Stradale.
Yo, that's the one that
This is a road-going
you missed that part, yo.
360 Modena.
Fucking rookie.
Horsepower
I'm buying that
bananas,
shit. I'm
been
gonna have
stripped
to pay
down
a
to a lighter
premium.
weight, upgraded with a lightning
I can't have it.
fast 6 speed.
I slept on the car. It's
F1
like bad luck.
automatic
I don't want to mix that car with the other
1,300 of these were
collection.
built, and this is the last one built for this country.
Damn.
And this one is
You know
Dishon,
what I'm saying?
3.6 liter
I didn't even
V8,
sleep on the last one, man.
25 horsepower.
That means
This is the
they
challenge
fixed all the
to
problems. They
Denali. This is
perfected that shit. That
a
car was
car that
perfect.
literally competed in spec races, where all the Ferraris race each other. Stradale means street. So this is like a street version of a full race challenge car, but it can get up. And this has Cadoni luggage too.
Full wing in the back.
Okay, this one gavels for
Baby Tuscaloosa.
$1,050,000. The 360 Challenge Stradale. Here is a
I got an
365
orange STO
GTB
trading.
for Daytona.
I'm waiting on the
Second
model.
one of these. We've seen this one from
I don't have the title to
1973.
that car.
Yeah, final year of the Daytona, debuted in
Hard enough to
1968, and they all have that front engine, 12-cylinder engine.
It's a
And
trading,
these
and
cars,
that's what you take it out of the
again,
cold frame.
all Daytona by the
Detail,
enthusiast establishment, not by
P1
Ferrari.
GTR,
And that was something that in
F197 race
1967,
car.
Ferraris finished 1, 2, 3 at the endurance race
Offer
in
price
Daytona.
504
And
202
when this car was
5915.
produced, well, somehow, even though these weren't the cars that raced, those cars that won in Daytona were prototypes, but somehow that name trickled down to these road cars. Colombo designed 4-cam V12 6 Webers, 352 horsepower.
All right, another one in the $1 million category.
570 yes, yellow, 19,000
All
miles.
right. We move now to this
I got a red one,
2005 Ferrari
They go together, McDonald's colors.
575M Super America. Steve M for Modificata.
Modifications on the car, yeah, but remember a little earlier on talking to Balkan, we're talking about, well, when the
The white one, the
Daytona
orange,
came to its
the
end of
yellow,
its run, there was a long while before
and the red
Ferrari
all go
finally got
together.
back on board with a front engine car.
Right.
This is the series of cars
Baby
that did it
collection,
for them,
right
starting off with the 550 Maranello and on from there.
And of course, the Super American name. No secret that Ferrari was aiming these cars at the American market. It's where they wanted to sell them.
I think it was
That's a
Ferrari
fucking
president
machine,
Luca de
yeah.
Montezemolo. He went to his engineers and said, whatever happened to that Daytona? There was, well, we kind of, we're onto different things now. How about we bring it back again because it was a great success?
Yeah, and it was.
And it worked.
Yeah, Maranello series, just fantastic. Front engine, 12-cylinder GT cars. This has that electrochromic rotating glass roof. Okay, a rotating glass roof in a Ferrari.
Super America, my father's shit.
$1.175 million is the hammer price on that 575M Super America. This is one of the most spectacular cars of this lineup, everyone. 1967 275 GTB4 alloy car, and that's the key.
Now, one of only 16 alloy cars produced, and really the pinnacle of the GTB4.
My oldest uncle
And there's a couple of
was best
distinguishing
driver
features on this, and
in the
Max
house
is
of my
probably about to jump in on
grandfather.
the hood bulge indicates that 4-cam engine under there, and then there's that continuation of the drip rail that continues behind the windows that indicates that it is an alloy body, a little distinguishing feature.
I'll just add by saying, Chris, on your description of the car there, the presentation is just phenomenal. The paintwork, the quality of the paint, the depth of the paint when you stand close to it is remarkable.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be there to check out this collection in
Got the gun
person,
along
and
for
this
chrome
car in particular
bumper.
just drew me in, unlike any of the others in the collection. This is just a phenomenal automobile.
Of course, the alloy body. That's why it's called an alloy. It's not a steel. Much lighter than the steel body cars. And this was the run up until the
We'll be right back.
365 GTB came in after this. And some people prefer this styling